What's going on, everybody? My name is Quinn Sheridan,
I'm Tyler Van Dyke.
and this is our show, All in the Mix. It's our first episode. We're here to talk about basketball, college basketball, NBA, you name it. A little bit about me and Tyler, how we met. We met at a college in Southern California. Will not be named because they don't pay us. Uh, but we met at practice and kicked it a few times, and I was like, Tyler's pretty cool. Whatever, things didn't work out at the school. We kept in touch here and there. And then, we've always been kind of cool. We just never really like hung out and never really like.
The one time we did hang out, something kind of crazy happened.
Okay. A little quick story. So one of the times me and Tyler had hung out, I think it was like the only time we hung out really.
Yeah.
Was we went to your house. One of our other teammates, we went there before practice, right?
Yep. Just to chill.
And Tyler was like, "Oh, like I'll drive, like like you guys leave your car at the school or whatever." So I was like, "All right, cool." I'm thinking my car's safe at school.
Great idea.
And then we're sitting there watching TV, playing video games or something, and somebody calls me and is like, "Yo, somebody stole your car." And long story short,
we ran out of the house so fast.
we ran out the house, but long story short, found my car, got it back.
Yeah.
It was a weird day.
That was crazy.
But basically, I'll start with my basketball background. I've been playing basketball since probably I was 8 or 9 years old. I didn't really take it serious until probably I was like 14 or 15 is when I was like, okay, like I'm pretty decent. Like I could probably, go to school, go to a decent high school, a decent college. And then this past year I took a year and a half off, just to, for family stuff, mental stuff. But I am back playing again, and I'm super excited. So yeah, you want to give the people some of your background and let them know.
Yeah. Similar to you, I've been playing basketball since like third grade. Yeah, like just like really young, and I didn't really like realize that I loved it until like fifth, sixth grade when I was like about 13 or 14 also.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, yeah, I think I got a shot. And throughout high school, everyone was like, "Oh no, you can't play college ball. Like you're too small." Blah, blah, blah. I can't do it. And I was like, "I'm gonna prove you guys wrong." So
exactly.
I ended up playing community college ball. So that's pretty much the background.
There you go. So that's a little bit about our background with basketball. A little bit about the show itself. We're going to be talking about obviously basketball. That's the whole point of this. We're going to be talking about different rumors, trades, scores, stats. You name it. If it's basketball and it's worthy talking about, we're going to talk about it. Also, I wanted to point out we're going to be having a guest. Pretty much, the goal is every single show after this one. And it's I don't want to call them interviews because these people are like family to us, friends to us. So it's just cool conversations. People just talking about hoops. A few people had asked me when I had posted on Instagram like, why are you doing this? Like, why are you starting a show? Why do you want to do a show? Honestly, it had never really popped into my mind until like honestly like a couple of days before I had posted that. Because I talk about basketball all the time, and you obviously do too. We talk about hoops all the time.
I did one little podcast one time for March Madness like 2 years ago, just to like see.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and we both I would like to think have good basketball minds, good basketball eyes. We see a lot, we read a lot, we watch a lot. And I have people in my corner telling me, "Oh, you should start doing this show. You should do a podcast. You have a lot to talk about." And people that genuinely love basketball probably want to hear it because they might think the same way or they want to see someone else's point of view. And I know you had told me the same thing that people were telling you. So
absolutely,
I had posted it and I was like, I'm thinking about starting this show. And would anybody mess with it? And every comment was positive for me. And then Tyler actually reached out to me and was like, "Hey, this is what I'm going to school for. Like,
what I want to
what's
do.
up? And I was like, man, like I honestly was perfectly okay doing it by myself. But then, I chatted with Tyler a little bit, and I was like, okay, this is the person that I would want to do this with, because he's consistent, he's on his stuff, he loves basketball and loves talking about basketball. So we just said, why not?
Yeah,
So
why not make it a duo? Yep.
all right. So to start off the show, every week we're going to be pretty much the same topics every week, and we're going to be going over college basketball, top performers, top teams, guys to look out for, teams to watch out for. And we're going to start off with college, and Tyler's going to be the college guy for us, and let's see what he's got.
All right. So for this week in college basketball, just last night, Andrew Jones of Texas, who was diagnosed with leukemia just a few years back, he had a buzzer beater versus West Virginia to keep them in the top 5 conversation. And then second player I want to highlight is Sharife Cooper. He just came back from being ineligible.
Ooh, that kid is nasty.
Crazy.
Nasty.
Yeah, he had a team high 26 points, 9 assists, 4 rebounds, and 3 steals. And they actually did still lose that game, but it was quite a performance for Sharife Cooper.
They played against Alabama, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, for sure.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yep. And then the third performer, who is probably going to get highlighted mostly throughout the season, I would say, is Luka Garza. He's the number 1 college basketball player, I would say.
Ooh.
What do you got?
I don't know. I like him a lot, and I don't mean to interrupt you at all, but
you're good.
Jalen Suggs from Gonzaga.
No, I was gonna get to that.
Suggs from Gonzaga.
Mentions is pretty much the top 3 players of Gonzaga. Corey Kispert, Jalen Suggs, and Ayayi. Gonzaga's the number 1 team. They're continuing to stay dominant like throughout the year.
It's ridiculous.
Luka Garza averages 27 points per game, 8.9 rebounds per game. He shot 72% from the floor this past 2 games this week. So yeah, he's going crazy. And just this morning, he had 33 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 assists in a win over number 16 Minnesota. So
hey, he is what a lot of coaches and a lot of people call a mother effer right there.
Yeah, no,
Luka Garza is the real deal. I'll be honest with you, I never heard of him until this past year.
Really?
And I kept seeing his name. I kept seeing Luka Garza. And I'm like, who is this dude from Iowa? Like,
no, I know he really didn't come onto the scene until last year. Like, he was pretty much no one until last year. So.
Yeah, he came up coming crazy. Okay.
Absolutely. Yep. And then the top teams, like I said, Gonzaga stays dominant. No one's challenging them pretty much. They've beaten top teams. They're beating everybody in their conference. Like, those 3 players, like I said, are just going to lead them, I think, pretty far this year. I don't know how far, but they're definitely going to be one of the top contenders. Texas, like I said, with Andrew Jones, they held off West Virginia. They're going to stay in the top 5. I think they're a very hot team right now, and I think they're going to be in the conversation at the end of the year. I have to give a shout out to my UCLA Bruins.
Oh, man.
I don't want to be a homer. I'm a UCLA Bruin fan, guys. They beat both Arizona schools, swept them this week. They stay undefeated in Pac-12 play, which is very tough to do. They lost one of their best players, in my opinion, their best player in Chris Smith, who he suffered a torn ACL last week.
So that's what happened to him? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah. And I just had to shout out them. Tiger Campbell led them with 22 points against Arizona yesterday.
If I can add this for a second, hold on. For the people that don't know, I am a huge U of A fan. That's University of Arizona. I'm from there. One of my best friends, who he may or may not be on the show coming up very soon, also plays at U of A. So we might have something to chat about with my boy Tyler next.
That does happen. I'm definitely looking forward to talking to him. Oh my gosh.
Good for them, man. I will say UCLA basketball has not been. No, I don't want to say they've been bad, but they haven't been the best the past couple of years.
Yeah, no, they they've been all over the place for real. And it was huge when we got Mick Cronin as our coach because
I was going to say
that,
Cronin is definitely, I think, the extra push that they needed on that team.
Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, so that's pretty much all I got for college basketball this week. Anything else you want to add, Quinn?
No, not really. I do want to add that our college section might be a little skimpy here and there sometimes, just because of COVID and everything going on. A lot of games are getting postponed and canceled, and
not even playing basketball.
Certain guys can't play, and people are getting sick, people are getting hurt. So we are going to stay on top of college as much as we can, just because, we want to make sure that those guys are talked about just as much as, your LeBrons and your Luka Garza and whatnot. But, and Tyler does a great job with college hoops, even though he is a UCLA fan. I'm not going to hold it against you forever.
Yeah.
I'm not going to hold it against you forever, but, good job.
Yeah, we definitely have that little rivalry for sure, but it's cool. it makes it better to talk about.
Exactly.
I will definitely be highlighting the Pac-12 every now and then, just because I really like watching the Pac-12 a lot. It's West Coast.
Yeah. Cool, man. So transitioning to the NBA, not a whole lot is going on in the NBA as far as like trades are concerned. Not a lot of the guys are getting moved right now. Especially with people getting injured and sick and whatnot, you can't really make trades if somebody tested positive. So some news I have from the past week is Spencer Dinwiddie, if you guys didn't know, recently tore his ACL about the end of December, I believe. He had successful surgery. He might be back before the end of the season, but I honestly, if I was him, I would just wait till next year, because you don't want to rush things like that. Another really disappointing one for me was somebody, this guy has had a rough beginning to his career already, with the shoulder injury and whatever he had going on mentally that was messing with him on the court. He had just really came onto the scene for real last year, and it was really picking it up this year a lot at the very beginning of the season. Markelle Fultz, man.
That's a tough one.
It is a really tough one. It's hard being an athlete too, and seeing somebody like that works their ass off every single day, and just moved his leg the wrong way, popped his ACL.
It's crazy how it just happens like that.
Yeah. Prayers up for Markelle. I'm sure he'll be fine, and I'm sure next year he'll come back on another tear. And so that's about it as far as injuries goes. I will say, another protocol, not really injury. Jason Tatum, I don't know if you guys heard, tested positive for the coronavirus after their game against the Washington Wizards. So that's a huge blow for the Celtics.
Actually, if you don't know, the Celtics and Heat game got postponed today, actually, because of that.
Yeah. So a lot of people are testing positive right now. As much faith as I have in Adam Silver, as a lot of people do, things are getting a little shaky.
It's getting kind of crazy.
Yeah, it's getting a little bad. There's a new mask protocol for the NBA, and you must wear your mask on the bench until you enter the game. They are some teams are requiring that you wear one as you're coming off the court. So everybody that's not in the game obviously needs to be wearing a mask, which, I personally don't know how much that's going to do as far as the spread of the virus in the league. I mean, we'll see how that goes. They just put it in place, I think, on Tuesday. So, we'll see if that works. And I know they got those monitors on the guys with contact tracing and whatnot. So hopefully this slows the spread a little bit and keeps the NBA where everybody wants it to be, exciting, and not having 7 or 8 guys available for the game, which it is tough on those 7 or 8 guys. I know you probably saw the 76ers.
I mean, Tyrese Maxey went off, man. He went off.
Hey, Tyrese Maxey is gonna play hard, man. Another big headline I thought was the NBA G League is going to be starting up in February. They're going to be in a bubble in Orlando, just like the NBA was last summer. I think that's great for the G League, because if you guys don't know, a lot of those guys, they don't make a lot of money. So they're not living in.
They're in it for the passion of basketball.
Yeah, they're there just off the love of the game. Good for them. I think the G League is a really good thing for the guys that need development. You know, guys like it did wonders for Horton Tucker for the Lakers. He's playing really
Absolutely.
well.
Yep.
Caruso really well.
Mm-hmm.
I know I'm just saying Lakers guys, but those are just guys that come off the top of my head.
Yeah.
So that's pretty big news for the G League. I'm happy that they're going to be able to start up and play. As far as transactions goes, the Knicks waived Omari Spellman the other day. I'll be quite honest with you, I didn't know he was on a team right now. Anyways, he had a hell of a year, a hell of a career at Villanova. NBA career has kind of been so.
All over the place. Yeah.
Hopefully he gets picked up soon by G League team, NBA team. Best of luck to him. No trades yet, like I said. There's been a few signings. Tim Frazier, who is a former, I want to say Portland Trailblazer, signed to the Memphis Grizzlies. That's probably to help them out at point guard, as John Morant is still injured, I believe.
Yeah, Tyus Jones can't do it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so they pretty much only had Tyus Jones left, and he's going to need some help too. And Taj Gibson actually is back with the New York Knicks, reunited with his head coach from the Chicago Bulls, Tom Thibodeau. I don't know if a lot of people noticed that one. That one kind of went under the radar. But the Knicks are going to be the Knicks. So
I mean, yeah.
if you're a Knicks fan out there, I'm sorry.
The fact that Taj Gibson is back, though, I mean, he's been playing for. I watched him play at Florida against UCLA way back when in college basketball. Like, he's been playing forever.
And he played with D Rose. He was on that Bulls team. Were. But good for him. Maybe he'll get some minutes, help them out. I still feel like they have a million power forwards over there.
They do. And Julius Randle's really come on.
Julius Randle's playing really well. Obi Toppin has played all right. They
have a lot. Yeah, they have a lot of forwards.
Yeah, they got too many forwards. They don't. I don't really know what they're doing over there in New York, but hopefully they figure it out for the city of New York's sake. As long as for the past, I don't know, since they had Melo, they've just kind of been a joke. Haven't made the playoffs, haven't really won a lot of games, haven't had luck in the lottery.
Oh yeah, no, they're the laughing stock of the NBA. Yeah.
Last one, I just had to throw this in there because people are going to want to talk about this family a lot, and they will for a really long time. LiAngelo Ball has signed to the Pistons G League team.
Did he really?
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of people peeped that either, but he was signed to them on a two-way right before the season started.
I know everyone was quick to go get on him as soon as he got waived.
Absolutely. And he was waived right before the season started. He didn't play in the preseason, and then they brought him back for the G League team. So hopefully, he gets some development. Because I know, a lot of people are saying a lot of things about him, and he's not that good, yada yada yada.
And his two brothers, it's just,
And when you got your younger brother and your older brother in a position where they're looked at as this and that, hopefully he gets some shine, and hopefully he'll bring something to a team eventually. So that pretty much wraps it up for me as far as news goes. I do have quite a few top performers from this past week. I'll start with a guy that a lot of people the past couple of weeks have been saying a lot of not so nice things about this man. Doubted him a lot. I don't know why. He's got 3 championships. He's got a couple MVPs. Arguably the best shooter of all time. Was on, one of the best teams of all time. I don't want to keep listing off his resume because it pretty much speaks for itself at this point. Stephen Curry, man. This past Sunday, he had 62 points, 5 rebounds, 4 assists versus Portland. Absolutely unreal. And he's not one to really say much in the media, say much on the court. Everybody knows that. He just goes out there and does his thing. I think he heard everybody's disrespect. He definitely heard it. He definitely heard it.
Yeah, I think it definitely fueled him.
Great game, win versus Portland. The very next game had 39 and 8 versus the Kings. Went crazy. The only game that made me not want to put him as a top performer was the first game they played against the Clippers this past week. He had 13, 5, and 4, and they lost.
Yeah.
Didn't shoot the ball very well. But the next night, 38, 2, and 11 win versus the Clippers, which put him at a weekly average of 36 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists. Shout out to Steph Curry putting up MVP numbers yet again. I hope,
on a team that is not there yet.
On a team that on paper, looks like they'd be.
It looks good. It really does. Like, I thought Kelly Oubre was going to be a big deal for them. He was great in Phoenix. He's not great in Golden State. I don't know what's going on.
I've always been a fan of Kelly Oubre, and mostly because of his style and fashion, not necessarily his basketball ability. The acquisition of Kelly Oubre to me seemed cool at first, and then I'm like, well, they still have Andrew Wiggins, they have Eric Pascal, they have all these guys that are the same size, kind of play the same position.
Type of players, yeah.
Yeah, and for me, that's just like picking up another Andrew Wiggins. No disrespect to him, but that's just, you kind of got a left-handed Andrew Wiggins now, which, we'll see how
starting them together. So
we'll see how that works out. The loss of Klay Thompson really hurt this team.
Yeah, they could have been the real deal.
Yeah. Hopefully they're not a lottery team again, because as much as I dislike teams like the Warriors, because I am a Lakers fan.
We are both Lakers fans.
Yes. They make for good basketball. People want to watch.
I love watching the Warriors play.
Like, it doesn't matter who they watch, night in and night out. You're in for a show when you got Steph and Klay on the court.
Absolutely.
And as much as people want to talk about Draymond, when he's out there, he makes a difference. He makes winning plays. He plays hard. Shout out to Draymond. Another guy, I think he's the most underrated player in the NBA.
Absolutely.
One of the best scorers. Down. He's the most disrespected player in the NBA as far as accolades goes. He's incredibly disrespected. Didn't make an All-NBA team last year. Not an All-Star.
And his stats prove it. I mean,
and last year 2 people averaged 30 points in the NBA. He was one of them.
When is he gonna get that chance?
When are people going to put respect?
When are they gonna start giving him respect?
When are we going to respect Bradley Beal?
Bradley Beal, man.
Bradley Beal plays for the Washington Wizards, everybody. Last week he had 27, 10, and 5 in a win versus Brooklyn, which is
an absolute tear right now.
Absolute tear. The very next game, he scored 60, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, and they lost to Philadelphia.
Hold on. He scored 60.
And they lost.
They lost.
What else? What else do you want him to do? The very next game, he had 41, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and a loss versus Boston. Weekly average for him, 43 points, 7 rebounds, 4 assists.
And they have Russell Westbrook now, who you think would take away that production, but nope. He's still
I don't really know what the Wizards management is doing right now. I don't think they know what they're doing right now. That they also just lost Thomas Bryant. I don't know if you saw this.
That was
for his ACL. That's another guy
on one of my fantasy teams.
Oof. So now they are down one of their, I think, 2 or 3 centers. That's a big blow for them. I wish I could be a spokesperson for Bradley Beal, but I'll just do it here. That he needs to leave Washington immediately.
Yeah, he needs to go to a contender. Absolutely.
He needs to play for a team that is trying to win games, not trying to pick up draft picks. They had a great pick this year in Danny Advia, but there's only
he's been doing really well.
There's only so much that a 19, 20-year-old kid can do for a team that has pretty much been the bottom of the East for quite some time now.
Just like the Knicks, exactly.
Yeah, they're down there with the Knicks. So free Bradley Beal, man. Please let him get to a team where he can win.
Somewhere.
I think personally, him in Miami would be, something.
That would be, they
cool. But
they'd have to put a decent package together for him.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Miami Heat they're a little interesting to me too, since they want to hold on to Duncan Robinson and Tyler Hero. I get they have their whole culture thing, and you know they have the Heat
Yeah, I
culture
don't
or
know. It's
whatnot.
kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, because they had opportunity to trade for James Harden. I heard that's what I heard. I don't know how true this is. But they
Yeah, I
wanted,
heard that too. I heard it just fell through.
and they said that the deal breaker was Tyler Hero, which is a little interesting to me. But if that's what they want to believe in, then by all means, go ahead. With that being said, moving on to the next guy, my last performer of the week, one of my favorite players, person who I have picked to win MVP this year, the man that wears number 77 for the Dallas Mavericks, Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic this week went absolutely crazy again.
Crazy.
He had two triple doubles out of their 3 games. Actually, yeah, he had two triple doubles because he didn't play on Sunday. So
yeah, that hurt me.
So when they played Houston, he had 33 points, 16 rebounds, 11 assists in a win versus the Rockets. Very next game, 38, 9, and 13 versus the Nuggets. Last night, another triple-double, 20 points, 11 rebounds, 10 assists in a win versus the Magic.
Absolutely carries that team.
Puts him on a weekly average of 30 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists. I would say overall,
point guard.
Point God.
Point God, yeah, there you go.
Luka Doncic, man, he's unreal. You guys, everybody has probably seen him play at this point. He's
super
just
fun to watch.
He's just unreal, he's our age, 21, 22 years old, and he's just on an absolute tear. He makes it look so easy watching him play. Without Porzingis, can we add that? Without Porzingis, he's going on a tear. I do think that is hurting them a lot. They haven't won games that I think.
No doubt, yeah. I think the Mavs would be a lot better.
But Luka Doncic overall is my player of the week. Just off the fact that this guy can go get you a triple double in his sleep.
Yep. Doesn't matter.
So just an absolute monster, Luka Doncic.
I agree with you. 100%.
Praying he stays injury free. Praying he keeps going on the tear that he's on. I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. I think he'll be the MVP. If he's not the MVP, he'll be a top 3 MVP candidate this year for sure.
Good for years to come.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Honestly.
So I also wanted to throw in a rookie spotlight every single week. I want to highlight a rookie that's making a difference for their team, playing well, and just proving to everybody that the best guys in the league don't have to be the top names every single week, and I want to make sure that the rookies are talked about because some of them are playing really well. Some of them I haven't heard about since the draft. Those guys, I don't know what to tell you, play better, I guess. Play better, stay healthy. LaMelo Ball is my rookie of the week. I know everybody is going to be like, oh, LaMelo Ball, of course.
LaMelo Ball. Yeah.
Oh, my God, you had to pick LaMelo. I'm not picking LaMelo Ball just because I want to throw his name in a conversation.
The dude missed a triple-double against his brother's team and then came back and got a triple-double.
The next night, though. Not like 2 games later. 24 hours later. 24 hours later, got a triple-double.
Yeah. He's got to be rookie of the week.
Just unreal from LaMelo Ball, honestly. 19 years old. This week, Charlotte is a team that, they're not a contender. They're not a team that you want to watch every night, But LaMelo Ball is somebody that you're going to want to watch every night. Once he's out there, he's special. We've seen it when he was in high school. He's a local guy. We saw it when he went to Australia. He did his thing out there.
Lit it up. Yep.
So this week, against Philadelphia, they lost. He had 12, 7, and 9. Not bad. He's coming off the bench for whatever reason.
Coming off the bench. And gets a triple-double.
Exactly. The very next game, a win versus the Atlanta Hawks. He had 13, 8, and 5. Against the New Orleans Pelicans, like how we were just talking about, against his brother. He had 12 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, and the win, which matters the most, obviously. Then the next night, he said, let me go get them a triple-double. He had 22 points, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, in a win versus the Atlanta Hawks, which puts him on a weekly average of 14, 9, and 8, which I believe, if we're looking at just numbers, he's at the top of the rookie ladder for me. Probably him. I mean, Anthony Edwards and James Wiseman are playing well as well, but LaMelo Ball, if he stays consistent,
he's proving he was the number one overall. He should have been anyways. I mean, if Anthony Edwards can,
turn up a little bit, I think LaMelo Ball is really proven to everybody that he's here to stay. We are very early into his career, very early into the season, so I don't want to get too ahead of myself and saying that he's going to be, this and that.
Absolutely.
But if, like I said, I think with him, if he stays consistent, everything else will fall in line, and he'll be right where his dad and a lot of other people think that he's going to be. As far as other teams and a couple other players to watch for as well, the Boston Celtics, the only team in the NBA to go 4-0 this week, have not lost a game this week. They beat Detroit, Toronto, Miami, and Washington. A guy that stood
really
out,
well.
A guy that stood out. They are they're stumped right now. A guy that stood out on that team for me, Jason Tatum, obviously. This week went absolutely crazy. Had 24, then he had 40, then he had 27, then he had 32.
Someone else that I think actually, I mean, Jason Tatum, I agree with you 100%. But Jaylen Brown,
I was just gonna say Jaylen Brown
might be their guy right now that just does everything for them. I mean,
absolutely. I'm a huge fan of Jaylen Brown. Early on in his career, I was a little kind of iffy.
Yeah, absolutely. I was too.
I'm like.
I watched him at Cal, so okay. I was like, I didn't know he would be this good, and now that he is, it's really impressive.
And a lot of people, I don't know if a lot of people remember this, but when he was in high school, they were comparing him to Stanley Johnson, who is a local guy. Mm-hmm. And now their careers are pretty much the opposite. Jaylen Brown is starting on a contending team, is one of the better players on that team, and he's talked about a lot. He got paid a lot of money recently, and he's proven to everybody that he's worth, his $100 million or whatever he got.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really want to speak on Stanley Johnson too much. I don't really know what he's got going on. I do know that he's on the Raptors, and that's about it. Hopefully his career turns around at some point, because he was
decent at the start of his career.
One hell of a player in high school and college.
Hell of a player.
One more player I do want to point out, just because I am a Lakers fan, and this man actually played very well this week, LeBron James. This week he had 22, 13, and 8 versus Memphis in a win. And then the very next night they played Memphis again. He had 26, 12, and 7. Then they had a loss to the San Antonio Spurs where he had 27, 6, and 12. And then they beat the Chicago Bulls with no Anthony Davis, 28, 7, and 7 with a weekly average 26, 9, and 8. Look, LeBron's career speaks for itself. This is his 18th year. He's 36 years old.
What else can you say about him? He's one of the greats.
He's great. As far as the GOAT debate goes, I'm not going to get into that, because I know a lot of people are
going to
have things to say, and we all might not agree on the same thing. So, moving on. I want to talk about a little bit of NBA awards, just early predictions.
Early predictions.
Very early predictions for awards. Right. So we'll start with Coach of the Year. Who do I think is going to be the Coach of the Year? It's very early to say already. We're about 10 games into the season right now, 12 games into the season. As far as Coach of the Year goes, one team that I am impressed by that I haven't spoke on pretty much at all is the Phoenix Suns. Phoenix Suns, if you guys don't know, they have a really great trio of Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. And
Mikal Bridges is really becoming something.
Absolutely. Mikal Bridges is playing really well this year. You can't deny that at all. But their coach, Monty Williams, great coach. Great coach. He's been disrespected a lot by a lot of teams.
Absolutely.
Hasn't really had the right roster a lot of times. He did coach Chris Paul in New Orleans, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm pretty sure.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know, as far as this team goes, I don't know how far they will go. They are playing really well right now. But I do think the Suns will make some noise. I'm not saying they're going to be going to the Western Conference Finals by any means.
They could make the playoffs, though. I think they
I
have a good
do I
chance.
do think that
They get in the playoffs.
they don't have to be one of those play-in teams. I do think that they will make the playoffs. Granted, everyone stays healthy, especially Chris Paul, because I know he's had some struggles the past couple of years with some little minor injuries that have really set him back. And people need to stop disrespecting Chris Paul also.
Literally, oh my gosh, bro. That was such a huge acquisition for them, and people just kind of downplayed it. Like,
major
that's a
acquisition.
big deal.
And I think the issue a lot of people had, and the issue I kind of had at first, was this man's contract was pretty unreal. He's getting like $40 million right now.
That was kind of crazy for
people were looking at the Houston Rockets a little sideways for that one, for making his contract like that. But I don't want to say he's living up to the contract, but he is playing very well. And him and Devin Booker and DeAndre Ayton together is it's a very nice trio. And like you said, Bridges is playing. He's coming into his own as well.
As well as Cameron Johnson. Cameron
Johnson can play really well too. So I mean, as far as, I don't really want to get too much into the coach of the year. Do you have any picks for the coach of the year? Or you kind of?
I mean, that was a good one, Monty Williams. I don't know if I would have thought of that one. Damn, coach of the year. Let me think.
You got guys like Brad Stevens is coaching a great team.
That was one that just popped into my head. Brad Stevens definitely will be in that conversation if the Celtics can keep it up. Yeah, exactly. They don't even have Kemba Walker right now. Let's also remember that.
That is something that I did not speak on earlier when I was talking about the Celtics going 4-0. They are without all-star point guard Kemba Walker, which is you would think would be a major hit for them.
But it's not.
They have not missed a beat, and the Celtics have been one of those teams that hasn't had a star point guard that's been healthy the past couple of years, and they've still come around to do their thing every year. So good for them.
Yeah. Brad Stevens would be in that conversation for me. Steve Nash might be in that conversation for me, just because it's the Nets.
People are going to have a lot of issues if Steve Nash wins Coach of the Year.
Yeah, that would be.
There's going to be a lot of problems.
Definitely. Yeah. Western Conference wise, Coach of the Year. Maybe the Nuggets. I mean, the Nuggets were good last year. I think they're still going to be good this year. I think Jamal Murray isn't playing as well as I thought he would play after how he played in the bubble. Like, he's, kind of took a back seat a little bit. Jokic is kind of everything for them.
Yeah, and I will note that they I don't know if this has anything to do with his performance necessarily, but Gary Harris was not participating in the bubble. He was injured the majority of the time. He's back. So, that kind of takes, I don't want to say it takes away,
it does,
Jamal Murray's problems, but it definitely takes the slack off of him a little bit, So now that they have, their guys, one player that, I didn't talk about earlier that needs to be talked about that played very well this past week is Jeremy Grant, former Denver Nugget.
Former Nugget, yep.
With the Detroit Pistons. He played really well this week. Anyways, most improved player. I'll be quite honest with you. I don't really know yet.
I think I got one.
I think the only one I could think of right off the top of my head, and you might say somebody that I'll think of that will make me want to say yes to, is Jeremy Grant. Obviously, I just said his name.
The way he played for the Nuggets in the bubble, he was that third option guy. He was one of the guys that got them to where they went in the bubble. And when he went to the Pistons, I was like, oh, he's going to get a lot of playing time. He's going to be something. And sure enough, he's proved it. He's definitely legit. My guy that I thought of is Karis LeVert. This dude, 6th man of the year. And he's basically starting a couple games here and there now because they've had issues with Kyrie Irving not playing and KD not playing, and he's just been going crazy. And I think that if it keeps going the way it is, he will probably he'll probably get sixth man of the year. So he might be most improved player of the year also, but he might be too good for most improved player of the year. So
yeah. So most improved, you had Karis LeVert, I had Jeremy Grant.
Jimmy Collins a good one too. He's been
Two
doing great.
two guys that are playing really well right now and helping their teams out, making the difference. Sixth man of the year, you had just pointed out Karis LeVert.
Probably Karis LeVert if he stays in that sixth man spot. Yeah.
He was actually my pick for sixth man of the year.
Yeah. I didn't really think about it. I was like, most improved is probably a little bit less crazy and
So I'll agree with you on that one. Karis LeVert. He's coming off a pretty bad injury. He just signed to Team Jordan, him and Bradley Beal. So he's getting recognized as somebody who is, of importance in this league. And hopefully, God willing, he stays injury free, and he keeps going on the tear that he's going on. I don't know if you have a different pick for six man, or if that's who you're rolling with, or
six man. I have to think about six man. Who comes off the bench and really does well like that? Let me think. Yeah. Karis LeVert's probably the guy that stands out to me the most for that.
All right. Rookie of the year. A lot of people would agree on the same person. A lot of people, for me, it's between three people right now. Maybe four if this other guy steps it up a little bit. But as of right now, my pick for Rookie of the Year is LaMelo Ball. I hate to sound like everybody on ESPN and everybody on every, platform ever, but LaMelo Ball is just making it
getting it done.
He's getting it done. He's never really he doesn't lack confidence whatsoever, I will say. He goes out there, plays his game, doesn't really care about, what people are saying about him, whatever his dad has to say. He's making a difference. The other guys that are in that conversation for me are James Wiseman from the Warriors. Big man, plays really well, great hands, great feet.
Started off really well. Yeah. He's had a couple iffy performances, not like amazing, but he'll be in that conversation if he just stays consistent.
Absolutely. And I want to point out too that his college career wasn't really much of anything.
Oh,
he played one game. He played maybe 1 to 3 games over at Memphis. And then he had the eligibility issue.
Mm-hmm.
But for a guy that didn't get a lot of college time, and a lot of people were just going based off of workouts and high school film, he's proven to be what people were saying,
Yeah.
And I do think that eventually he's going to be an all-star in this league, hopefully. And he's going to be a great addition for that Warriors team whenever I don't want to say whenever he figures it out, but whenever he gets into that that mindset of I'm a killer, I'm in the NBA, I play for the Warriors.
Yeah.
He has that Warrior mindset. He'll be all right.
When he understands, definitely.
Exactly. And another guy that people were concerned about, they were concerned about his love for basketball and his, where he was at mentally with basketball, if he's there, if he's not there. Anthony Edwards, Minnesota Timberwolves.
He's kind of been all over the place.
I think he's hilarious.
He's funny. He's funny. Have you seen some of those videos? Oh my gosh, bro!
You think his little high school interviews and whatnot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that man is hilarious. He claims he can play any sport, every sport.
No, literally anything. She was asking him, "Oh, what? What she asked? Hockey or something?" I was yeah. I can play hockey.
He said, "If there's some money on the line, guarantee I'll be good at it." Hey, shout out to him. I think
that's the confidence you got to have.
Exactly. I love his attitude. I love I love the kind of person he is, and I don't think people got the right idea about him when they're saying, "Oh, he doesn't even love basketball." Blah blah blah.
Yeah, I think people just kind of think that he's too cocky for it, almost.
For sure, and they don't really. I think a lot of people
don't understand that mindset.
Exactly, and I could be wrong. I do think that he was being sarcastic when people.
I think he was a little bit too, honestly, but he said it really straight faced though, so no one really knows.
Yeah, man. I think Anthony Edwards for him. I personally believe that he just needs to be more consistent. Just the reps.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get a lot of.
I think he'll get there.
Yeah, I mean he'll get his in due time. He is still coming off the bench for the Timberwolves, which is
Yeah.
a little interesting for me considering who else is on that team. I don't know
I
if I would have
think
him
they
on the bench.
definitely need to look at starting him at some point. I mean, at least in the
Yeah.
season. Yeah.
I mean, you got Ricky Rubio and Malik Beasley, and the rest of that team is just kind of up in the air.
Mhm.
You got D'Angelo Russell over there too, which is
Yeah. Got D'Lo.
you got
Yeah.
Deal over there. He's going to be able to help out, a lot of those young
They
guys.
got Cat back from injury. They'll be all right. Yeah.
And the last person that not a lot of people were talking about, he's definitely my under the radar for rookie of the year. Sacramento Kings drafted him, Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton.
Tyrese Halliburton. A
Yeah.
lot of people
I've
criticized
seen
him.
a lot
They,
on him. Yeah.
yeah, I saw. I wasn't too familiar with him as far as his college career goes. I did hear about him here and there, and I'm looking at mock drafts, and I'm like, who is this
Who's
guy
this guy?
from? Who's
Yeah.
this guy from Iowa State? So
Mm-hmm.
I did a little bit of research, and I was watching film, and I'm like, man, he can shoot the hell out the ball.
No, yeah, he's good. Yeah,
A lot of people want to criticize the way he shoots, how he shoots.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That man can shoot the ball.
Yeah, literally.
And I think him being in Sacramento is a great situation for him. A guy.
Need a ton of playing time.
He's going to get a lot of looks, a lot of playing time. He's playing with guys, like De'Aaron Fox, Buddy Hield, who are experienced
young
guys,
and experienced guys. Mm-hmm.
So
it's kind of an all over the place team.
Absolutely, they're all over the place. They're coaches.
They're the Kings.
They're the Kings. I'm never going to say a lot of good things about the Sacramento Kings.
I probably won't either. I mean, I respect De'Aaron Fox. I love how he plays and everything. And I enjoyed watching Buddy Hield a lot when I was younger. I really thought he was a great player, but the Kings are the Kings. I don't ever really think they're going to get into that top
The Kings
tier.
need to they need to get it together, whether it's the coaching that's going on, and I know there's a lot of rumble in the locker room about Marvin Bagley not wanting to be on that team, and his dad is saying this and that, and somebody else's dad is saying this and this. Whatever, that's their problem. Move on to Defensive Player of the Year. This award, the criteria for it seems to change every year. I don't really know what they're looking at as far as who should.
I don't know how. I don't know how Giannis won it last year.
Back to back.
I don't know if he deserved it last year, but it is what it is. I definitely agree with you on that. The criteria seems to always change. It always seems to be as if if your team's doing good or something.
Yeah, and I obviously that's how a lot of these awards are going to be. Is all right. Who's the best player, or who's the best at this on the best team? Which is cool if that's how they want to do that. But I do think that
in that case, I believe Anthony Davis probably should have won it last year, but I don't know.
I think a lot of people would agree. I agree. But as far as Defensive Player of the Year goes, I think that there needs to be a more clear-cut description of what the criteria is, and you need to be this, and this, not just whatever their criteria is. Because I know a few years ago when Marc Gasol won Defensive Player of the Year, he won because he had the most third place votes. He had all the third place votes, which tallied up to him having the most votes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and that's why LeBron was pissed about Defensive Player of the Year, because he felt that he should have got it that year.
Mm-hmm.
But Marc Gasol had every single third place vote. Everybody voted for him for third. So he had so many votes that it added up to being the most, and so he got Defensive Player of the Year. Very strange situation, and this is what I mean, that they need to have a criteria of what
they need a clear-cut criteria.
Absolutely. As far as my pick goes for Defensive Player of the Year, it's tough. A lot of guys are not really playing defense right now. A lot of guys are getting their asses busted here and there, but it is super early to look at an award like that, because nobody's really into full gear yet. But just for the sake of being a Lakers fan, I'm gonna just go ahead and say Anthony Davis because he should have won
Davis
it last year, just like how we
should have.
said. He absolutely should have won it last year, and that last year is not me being biased. I personally believe he had a better defensive year, regardless of whatever plus minus you want to look at, and
Yeah,
you know,
on a
watching
better
him.
team also.
Thank you.
So if we're going by that criteria,
he's the
we
best
won the
defensive player on the
championship.
best team, right?
Not to be biased, but if that's the criteria, then that was the better team as well. So
Absolutely. So he's my pick this year. You can go ahead and share yours.
well, damn. I would probably say D also, but to go off like something else and just throw somebody else out there. Let me think. That's tough. Might just go out on a limb and say that what's his name? Oh my god, I forgot. Who was it? I'm drawing a blank. I mean, I'll go with AD, obviously. Like, I'll go Anthony Davis as well. But I'm trying to think of someone else. Damn, so early.
It's hard because a lot of guys right now, like I said, they're not kicking into full gear yet. So
yeah, no, definitely not.
we may not be seeing everybody's best effort on both sides of the ball right now. So that's definitely a conversation for a later time. Again, we'll probably bring that up again.
I'll definitely have a better answer next time.
Talk about that one. Everybody wants to throw Pat Bev in the conversation. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't.
No, I'm not a huge fan. Never been a fan of Patrick Beverly.
I saw a Twitter post. I think it was just last week where it was like the dude has like 4 steals on the season or something,
and he has more fouls than
30-something fouls.
Yeah, so he's not an all defensive player to me. He's not a defensive.
I think mainly majority is who's gonna win defensive player of the year is usually big guys, just because of like blocks and everything.
Which kind of sucks for the guards that that do play a lot of defense.
Get a lot of steals,
guys like Gary Harris and Jimmy Butler and people like that. Those guys play hard D. Yeah, and last award, MVP.
Oh boy.
I have not necessarily agreed with the MVP choices the past 2 years because it has been the same person who I personally, if you're looking at just stats, you're not watching games, right? You're not sitting down and watching a basketball game.
Actually watching, yeah.
You're not watching basketball. You're not
just stats on a paper.
Yeah, you're not even looking at highlights. You're just looking at, okay, well, this guy had the best plus minus. This guy had the best PER, the most points. None of that matters. I feel like the most valuable player is the most valuable player on the best team,
which would
last year would have been LeBron James.
Mm-hmm.
I think the NBA looks at the best player on the best team the best player on the team with the best record, right? Which last year and the year before was Giannis, which is fantastic. But I think last year they should have gave it a second look, considering his poor performance in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sorry. 2 years ago when he had won, I don't think they made the Eastern Conference Finals because they lost to Toronto.
Yeah, they bust. I don't know what it is. Everyone's like, oh, Bucks are gonna go all the way. Oh, the Bucks this, Bucks that.
Yeah, like, you know what, you guys.
They didn't even get close to that last year.
And last year was probably their best shot. I the whole year I was like, well, it's gonna be Lakers Bucks.
It's gonna be Bucks Lakers, exactly.
And then you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, and the man who won back
disappears.
He got Defensive Player of the Year. He's this, he's that. He disappeared. He's somebody that I feel like if you want to be considered a great or whatever you want to
You have to have those performances in those type of games.
You need to have those performance, like you said, you need to have those performances on that stage, whether there's fans or not. Whether there's fans or not, you should be. If you're the most valuable player, why aren't you playing like it? And regardless of whatever their situation was in Milwaukee last year, and the year before that.
Yeah, it seems like they've had some problems. Definitely,
they've had a lot of problems when it really counts. I mean, the regular season, they are the regular season champs every year.
No, yeah, they're
good for
great.
you.
That's what it's so confusing because they get to the playoffs and they just, I don't know. Just
I mean, you look at a team that they won 67 games or whatever it was, and you're like, okay, well, damn, this team is something,
They're legit,
and
yeah.
then they kind of cruise through the playoffs a little bit, and then they get faced with a team like Miami, who, excuse my language, everybody, who doesn't give a fuck about Antetokounmpo. They don't.
Literally.
Jimmy Butler, Bam Adebayo. Last year they had Jay Crowder.
Yeah. When you're supposed to be the MVP, you let Jimmy Butler take the spotlight away from you in the Eastern Conference Finals. You're not the MVP in my book. I don't see it
at all. And I do think that the NBA does base their award choices off regular season
play,
which you want to be the best player in the regular season. Good for you. Stack up whatever awards you want to stack up. If you don't got these to talk about, good for you. A lot of people have won awards with no rings, and that's if that's what your incentive is every year, and you're not trying to win. Hey, that's cool. We all have goals. But to kind of make this a conversation a little shorter, because we kind of went on for a little bit here. My pick for the MVP this year is two people. I'm down to two guys right now, and it's Luka Doncic, Anthony Davis. There's not a whole lot to say about either one of those guys because their play and just their just the way they go about how they perform is just it's second to none. Luka Doncic is just unreal. We were talking about him earlier in the show. He's a guy that will go out there and will casually give you a 30-point triple-double every night.
Like, it's crazy. Yeah,
it's crazy. And
I agree.
And Anthony Davis, I think the biggest thing for him is staying injury-free. If he stays injury-free, he has a very, very, very good chance to have I don't want to call it an Antetokounmpo-like year, but he does have a chance to win multiple awards this year. If he does stay healthy and consistent and doesn't let little nagging injuries keep him out of games and out of contention for awards. And I do think that those guys are going to be neck and neck for awards. Along with, hey, you know what? Might as well throw Steph Curry in there. If Steph Curry wants to play like this the rest of the year, I believe he should be a candidate. I don't know how long this little run is going to go. And I don't want to know if it's going to last all year. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, your guys for MVP, I know they might be similar. But
they are similar. I think that adding LeBron in there, maybe he's lost a little bit. I think he's lost a little bit from last year. He's lost a step. I think it's wear and tear on him. Like it's starting to set in.
That he's 36.
Conversation. Yeah, exactly. So I think it could be in that conversation. I also think AD can be in that conversation as well. I think that one of those two guys should win it. If they don't, I also agree with Luka Doncic. He's one of my favorite players as well. He leads my fantasy team, so I love that. So yeah,
very solid there. Awesome, man. Yeah, man, it's Luka Doncic. It's just
he's a beast. I mean, you can't say enough about him and his work ethic and everything. Like,
oh yeah, you could go on.
Not flashy. He's not like that guy that's just gonna be cocky and everything. He just goes out and gets it done. Like,
absolutely every night. And I think the thing that's gonna come down for him is gonna be he's got to win too. You know, um,
Yeah, it's all about the
Western
teams that win
Conference.
games. Yeah.
The Western Conference is incredibly tough every year. You know, you have teams coming up out of nowhere that end up being
Urging.
pretty
Mm-hmm.
good. You know, so you have obviously your top teams are going to be your Lakers right now, and there to me there's a big drop off between the Lakers and everybody else.
And then, yeah,
Because you know you people want to talk about the Clippers as Clippers. No, until they can get past the second round of the playoffs ever,
we can talk.
we can talk about Clippers.
Yep.
The only banners they have up in Staples Center are selfies and I think maybe a division title from 2013, 20. It was one of the Lob City years.
Oh yeah, with CP3, Blake Griffin, DeAndre Jordan.
Yeah, well, one of those years, I think they won the division, but
they won a division. Yeah.
Then they also went to the playoffs and lost to like the Warriors. I'm pretty sure.
First round, I'm pretty sure.
Sorry. Yeah, if you guys haven't figured it out, we are not Clippers fans over here.
Nope.
Not
to be biased, y'all, but the Clippers just I don't know. They're just not in the conversation.
The Clippers are one team I will be biased about because every year they talk the same mess. Oh, we're gonna do this. Oh, we're gonna do that. Oh, we're gonna
literally
never pans out.
Bring in Kawhi, bring in Paul George.
Bring in. Oh, apparently Doc Rivers was the problem. Get rid of Doc Rivers. Oh, you're still losing.
Lost to the Warriors. I mean, yeah.
It's that's a tough situation over there in LA. I do think that, like I said, winning for Luka Doncic is gonna eventually have to come into play very soon.
No, for him, in order to be in that MVP conversation by the end of the year, they definitely need to be in the top 4 teams at least.
Absolutely, and I think for the longevity of his career and the rest of his career, it's going to come down to winning. Dirk Nowitzki did it in Dallas. He did it once. You know, if Luka can sneak one in there in the next couple of years, awesome for him because I know Mark Cuban wants to build around him and Porzingis and keep them healthy. But hopefully he does get a ring in there eventually. Hopefully it doesn't have to come down to him choosing another franchise to go to or getting moved because that would be a big major hit for that team.
Yeah, absolutely it would be. Yeah, they definitely have to just keep building around him. If it's not this year, next year, you know. But yeah, I think they'll be strong once Kristaps gets back. I don't know how long they're gonna be away or without him, so I don't know.
I think he should be coming back fairly soon. Like you said, I don't really know the timetable either. I haven't really done too much research about it. I honestly didn't know he wasn't playing until like a week and a half ago. They were like, "Oh, he's making progress in his recovery." I was like, "I thought he was playing because the Mavericks were playing. They're playing all right, so I thought he was playing."
That's what I'm saying. He Luka Doncic does everything for them, really. I mean, they have Maxi Kleber and
he actually just tested positive too.
Yeah.
So that's another loss for them that they're kind of struggling with that as well. So at the end of every show, when we have a guest, we are going to have a couple questions for them, and then give them something that they want to plug. If they got something going on, boom, shout it out. Go ahead. The first thing that we were going to ask people, and we are going to give them ours as well, is your basketball Mount Rushmore, your all-time starting 5, right? So if you have yours ready, I'll let you go first, and then we will compare and possibly debate who should be where.
All right, I got one question first. So I know like we're going with the greatest, right? Obviously, but their most recent like great players, sometimes I feel like I want to include them, but their career's not over, so you can't. So I'm just gonna go with the legends, pretty much.
Yeah. So just go with your. So when I say basketball Mount Rushmore, I just mean what are 5 guys you would put on a court and they are not losing.
Okay. All right, then. In that case, LeBron will be in that conversation because I wasn't going to put him in as like the greatest.
Okay. Yeah.
If it's starting 5, I'll probably put him in then. Okay, so I'm going to go Magic Johnson at point guard. Speaks for itself.
Mm-hmm.
I got Michael Jordan, obviously one of the best. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Mm.
That's a tough one because, like, I don't know. It would either be him or Wilt Chamberlain, probably. That's a really tough one for me.
That that
Yeah,
that
it's
that is
one
a
of
tough one.
those. Probably Kareem. I'd put LeBron or Kobe in there, maybe, and then Bill Russell for sure. So there's a couple like iffy spots there, but I'd probably have Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Bill Russell, and I guess LeBron. I mean,
Man,
until
you
his
went
career.
you went big on big, huh?
Yeah.
All right. See that one's good. I like that one a lot. I went with five guys that I look at as my favorite players, anyways. And this is a starting five that I personally don't think would ever lose a game. One of the guys I almost substituted him with somebody else, but I'll get to that. At my point guard, I got Allen Iverson.
Okay.
I got Allen. I love Allen Iverson.
I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
A lot of people know this. He's one of my inspirations for basketball. At the two, I gotta have Kobe. Kobe Bryant,
Absolutely. That's a
rest in
tough one.
peace.
Yeah.
His he had passed away just about a year ago. Um, rest in peace to him. But at the three, I got Michael Jordan, just because I got three killers already. Why not?
No, yeah, I mean, I would put
Uh,
Kobe in mine also. There's just so much, like, it's
yeah,
tough.
there's a lot that you got to
I
consider.
love Kobe though. Yeah.
At the four, this is the one that I struggled with a lot because I was thinking, do I want to go big? Do I want to go defense? Do I want to go with a score? I went ahead and went with LeBron just because he could do it all. You know, I
Got
almost
a pretty
substituted
small
him.
lineup.
I almost substituted him with Kevin Durant or Tim Duncan. I didn't put Tim Duncan because of my center. My center, I put Shaq. So
Oh, all right. Wow.
Shaq, I got the most dominant big man of all time at the five. You guys can debate whoever you want about that. Nobody
Yeah.
cares Shaq.
Feel free. It's open to comment.
Yeah. Hey, let us know down in the comments your guys' top five, your guys'
Absolutely.
ultimate starting five. I'm gonna tell you every single time that you're wrong because this team is not losing. I'm sorry.
That's his five. Yeah. His
Okay, and then
go-to.
the next question we're gonna give to everybody, and we're gonna give ourselves too is Eastern Conference and Western Conference winners. Who's going to be meeting in the finals? What do you think, Tyler? Let me know. I know we are
Okay.
very
We
we're
already
very
know.
very early on in the season, so
We know. I mean, we as we don't want to be like biased about it. However, we're Lakers fans. Yes, I think the Lakers will be back in the finals again this year. I think they did enough in the offseason that they have enough guys. They got Dennis Schroeder now. Like,
underrated pickup.
when they got rid of Danny Green, I thought he helped them a lot. But I mean, they still have all their guys. I think they'll be back. So definitely Lakers in the West. And then in the East, it was a tough one for me.
Very tough.
I like
the one I struggled with.
Giannis. I like what they got going. But sometimes they don't look like they have it,
Folds. He folds
Yeah.
every year.
I don't think they have it. However, this new team who has probably one of the best like lineups, I would say. If they can get Spencer Dinwiddie back, I do think the Nets have a very good shot of getting to the finals.
Okay. And
But
then
they need him back.
So, okay, I'll give you mine too. So I had Eastern Conference. I had the Nets. I've had this. I mean, ever since pretty much the addition of Kyrie and
As soon as
KD.
they built that team like no other.
And then a lot of people had issues with their coaching decision, hiring Steve Nash. I understand a lot of people's frustrations with that. I get it.
I mean, he's never really coached before, so I get
He's
that.
never coached before, and to put him pretty much at the reins of a team like that is pretty. You've never really seen that before.
Yeah.
From technically, or a rookie coach. You've never seen a guy get
Mhm.
thrown in like that, but
Did Tyronn Lue coach before coaching the Cavs?
I want to say he was an assistant before.
Yeah.
I'm
So I
not
was gonna say that
100%
was kind of
sure.
like a similar spot for him. They built a whole
Absolutely.
big superstar team around
Yeah,
that with him. So
absolutely.
um,
I've had the Nets pretty much since the off season. I was always like, okay, it's going to be the Nets, and I'm
yeah,
not
the
even going to
Nets.
speak about the West yet. It's going to be the Lakers. Sorry, Clippers. Sorry, whoever
Yep.
thinks that they're going to win.
Yep.
They're not.
I don't care what you
Yeah,
guys can do, go
you
ahead,
can
but we.
debate your mom, debate your grandma. I don't care. The Lakers are winning the
Yep.
West.
Lakers
The
gonna win
East,
it.
man, the East. I'm really torn up now because
I am too.
I had the
There's
Nets.
some teams.
I had the Nets, but now I'm looking at Boston.
Boston.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking at Boston heavily. Miami. Um, I think that they're not on the same tier as they were last year.
I don't think so. I don't think they're gonna repeat the performance that
No,
they
I
were
don't.
giving.
I don't really see that happening. But unless they can make a move for somebody,
They need one player.
Bradley Beal.
Yeah.
um,
If
but
they got Bradley Beal, they'd be in that conversation, I think.
absolutely, absolutely. But regardless of who meets the Lakers in the finals, I had the Lakers winning it all yet again, back to back. There's really not a whole lot to say about that. You got LeBron, Anthony Davis. You got
You guys already know. Yeah.
new additions like Dennis Schroeder, Wesley Matthews is a good pickup.
That was a good pickup.
Marc Gasol is a great pickup.
Yep.
We stole Montrezl Harrell.
Absolutely. That was huge.
And honestly, hey, you know what? Shout out to the Oklahoma City Thunder for just handing us Dennis Schroeder. Thank you very much.
Literally.
You guys took a very interesting pick and Danny Green and gave us a very good player. Good.
And then gave him away.
Yeah, and then sent him to
to
wherever. So to move away from basketball for a little bit for our last question here is we definitely want to dabble into music as well. I have friends that make music. We obviously everybody listens to music. A lot of music is tied in with basketball. Basketball players want to be rappers. Rappers want to be basketball players. Everybody knows this.
Pump up music. Yep. Big deal.
So just a couple artists that I'm listening to right now would be Lil Durk just put out an album, The Voice. Very, very, very good. Listening to that a lot. Jack Harlow put out a great album as well.
Jack Harlow put out a great album. I was actually kind of shocked. I didn't know if he'd be able to put out like that same quality.
No, yeah, for sure.
But,
Because I thought he was going to be the guy that made the song "What's Poppin'," and that's pretty much it. He put out a very quality,
it's a great song.
Piece of work. Yeah. And the last person I listened to a lot, shout out to one of my really good friends, who is also going to be on the show eventually, with one of his friends, who I will not say because he is an NBA prospect as well. So we will get to that when we get to that. His stage name, artist name is Real Rambo. Shout out to one of my best friends, Xavier Rambo, putting out music on a daily basis. Super slept on artist from Hermiston, Oregon. If you guys want to check him out, look him out. Look him up on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, SoundCloud. Real Rambo. That's it, all one word. Tap in with him. I promise you won't be disappointed. He's a lot better than a lot of your favorite rappers. I'll tell you that right now.
Definitely have to check him out then.
Check him out.
Yes.
What are you listening to nowadays? What are you tapping into?
See, that's so tough for me because I listen to so much. I listen to so much music all the time. Like so much. I love Lil Durk. I'll go with you on that one. I know you like listening to Juice WRLD a lot, so I'm surprised you didn't say that.
I do.
Yep. I love Lil Uzi Vert. I love Pop Smoke. I listen to a lot of Pop Smoke.
Rest in peace, Pop Smoke. Yes, sir.
Very sad because I really started listening to him like 3 months before he died, and I was like, wow, he's gonna become something. And so rest in peace. King Von, rest in peace. I listen to a lot of King Von as well. Man, I listen to Lil Keed. I like Someone Playboy Cardi's new album, not that much, but like a couple songs. Like
I'm not a
I
fan.
feel like a lot of people hate it, but I like some songs. There's a couple, but
I feel it.
it was kind of a bust. And then to plug one of my friends who's a rapper as well, my friend Dion, he goes by D Taylor Player.
Okay.
He's pretty slept on as well. He's made some concerts and stuff out here in OC at the observatory. I've gone to some of them. Like, I think he has what it takes. He just needs to gain, like people and followers and everything, and get it out there.
Gain
So
some
D Taylor
traction.
Player, look it up. Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple Music, whatever. So
You heard
yeah,
it. To wrap up, we hope you guys enjoyed the show. Enjoyed what we had to talk about. Obviously, cut us some slack. We're going to be a little choppy. First episode or two. Just
first episode, guys.
Yeah, first episode.
Gotta get our feet wet.
We're just trying to get our feet wet, like you said, and hopefully people like the show. If you don't care.
It's all, yeah.
So so look forward to us every Wednesday. We're going to be dropping here on YouTube and possibly Apple Podcasts and Spotify Podcasts. I will keep everybody in the loop about that one. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man. From All in the Mix, me and Tyler. Next week we will be having a special guest. I was just informed a few minutes ago. That's why I kept looking over at my phone to make sure that was who it was. We will be having Arizona basketball forward Ira Lee on the show next week, and he's going to be here to talk about a lot of things. Talk about college hoops, NBA hoops, his aspirations, and what things he's got going on in his life. And hopefully you guys enjoy that, and we will see you guys.
Honestly, yeah, that's so cool. Dang.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
All right, man. All in the mix, talk to me nice.